This week at the box office, Aquaman fights it out with Bumblebee and Mary Poppins, while Steve Carell plays with dolls and Jenifer Lopez gets a new job. I'm Atomic. Please take a second to smack the little subscribe button down there in the bottom left corner. And now, let's take a look at the new movies hitting theaters December 21st, 2018. First up, you have Aquaman. Aquaman's half-brother is the king of Atlantis, and he plans to start a war with the surface world. That's us. Aquaman needs to go back to Atlantis and find the magic trident that will allow him to defeat his brother and make him king. Jason Momoa, that's Khal Drogo from Game of Thrones, once again plays Aquaman. You also have Nicole Kidman, William Dafoe, and Amber Heard. It's not a bad movie. There's some decent action. The humor doesn't always work, but there are some funny lines. It's enjoyable, but you probably aren't going to remember it in about a year or two. Compared to other DC Comics movies, it's great. They've been pretty bad. Really, this movie in the DC comic universe, it's only second to Wonder Woman, because Wonder Woman's like, the only DC extended universe movie it's done well, and the other ones are... So, Aquaman, when you compare it to normal movies, not Wonder Woman or other DC Comics movies, probably 3 out of 5 stars. You can check out my full Aquaman review by clicking the little link that's in the top right corner right now, or at the end of the video, there'll be a link there as well. Bumblebee. It's a prequel to the other Transformers movies. It's the closest any movie's ever gotten to being like the old 80s cartoon in terms of looks and feel. In this movie, Bumblebee gets injured and hides out on Earth disguised as an old Volkswagen Bug. Haley Steinfeld ends up repairing him without realizing he's a Transformer. He then surprises the hell out of her when he transforms into a 10-foot-tall robot. She befriends him and tries to keep him hidden from the Decepticons and the U.S. Army, which is being led by the WWE's John Cena. This is the best Transformers movie they've ever made. Still isn't perfect, but there are some pretty cool fights among the Transformers. This movie is also the funniest, and it has the most heart out of all the Transformers movies. 4 out of 5 stars. You can check out my full review by clicking on the little link. Mary Poppins Returns. This happens a few years after the original. The kids from the original have grown up. Michael's got his own kids, and he's having problems that he might lose his house. So Mary Poppins shows up right when he's freaking out, takes care of his kids, and helps him figure out how to save his house. Emily Blunt plays Mary Poppins in this one. Lin-Manuel Miranda from Hamilton is also in the film, as well as Colin Firth and Meryl Streep. You got Dick Van Dyke from the original. He's doing a little bit of a cameo. It's getting pretty good reviews, but the first Mary Poppins is held in such high regard that this one's got some high standards to live up to, and not every critic thinks it's living up to that legacy. But it's still, like I said, it's getting good reviews, and it is based off material that the author wrote way back then. Second act. Jenifer Lopez works at a Walmart-type store. She's sick of the crappy job, but can't really do anything about it because she doesn't have a college degree. Someone doctors up her resume and sends it out. She ends up with a big-time, high-paying job, but now stressing out about proving she can actually do the job without the degree, and she's also worried that someone's going to find out that she's not qualified. This is a comedy that also stars Leah Remini and Vanessa Hudgens. The critics, well, they're not really liking this one. They're saying it's just kind of a dumb movie. Not absolutely terrible, but not good. It's probably going to be forgotten with all the other stuff that's coming out this week and next week. The last major release this week is Welcome to Marwen. Steve Carell from The Office, he stars as Mark Hogenkamp, who's an artist that builds army scenes using large G.I. Joe type dolls. Well, he gets beat up by a group of Nazis, which leaves him pretty messed up physically and mentally. He ends up kind of getting lost in a fantasy world where he's trying to recover, and he starts seeing the G.I. Joes come into life, and he's having trouble deciphering reality from fantasy. Robert Zemeckis, who did Back to the Future, Roger Rabbit, Castaway, he did this one, so you'd expect this to be a pretty good movie. Unfortunately, the critics that have seen this movie, they're not really liking it. They seem to think it had a lot of potential, but that it was done wrong. Now, this is actually based on a true story, and there's a documentary about Mark Hogenkamp. It's supposed to be better than this film. Those are all the major releases for December 21st. Check out my full review of Bumblebee. It's in the top right corner. The full review of Aquaman is in the top left corner. You can subscribe with the ball in the bottom left corner. And if you've seen any of these films, feel free to leave a comment and make sure to like, subscribe, share, all that kind of stuff. And that's it. I'll see you later.